there's really no reason to leave this model. They're making a ton of money. It's smart. But I'm just saying, as a viewer, it's starting to feel like the same thing each and every night, or I should say each and every Saturday, as far as the viewing experience is concerned. The fights are always going to be different, but with the uniform and the venue and everything, feels a little bit like deja vu. And so I'm hoping for more events outside of the Apex. Nevertheless, a great card with a lot of great finishes. We have a great show for all of you. Remember, twice a week now, Monday, Wednesday. Thank you to everyone who's downloading, who's subscribing, who's reviewing, who's leaving comments. Number 4 on Spotify. Can we get to number 1 this week? Top 10 on Apple. Let's go. Big numbers on YouTube. They said we were dead. They said they had killed us off. Look at us now, stronger and better than ever. I can't wait. Great show planned for everyone. We've got Kevin Lee joining us. He's fighting this Saturday in Las Vegas. Was supposed to fight earlier in the month. Injured his ribs, so he'll be back this Saturday. Another fight night event. Interesting main event. Giga Chikadze against Juan Edson Barbosa's look really good at 145. 3 o'clock, we're going to be joined by Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley, yes, the Tyron Woodley, the chosen one, who meets Jake Paul this Sunday. Showtime pay-per-view, August 29th, Cleveland, Ohio. Did you hear the news that a certain nose is going to be a part of the broadcast team doing post-fight interviews as well in the ring for the very first time? I mean, if that's not worth $60, I don't know what is. Talk more about that later. We're going to be joined by Alistair Overeem. He might be making a big announcement at 2 o'clock, so stay tuned for that. Gable Steveson, the Olympic gold medalist, is going to be joining us at around 1:30. This guy is all over the place. I mean, one of the great free agency tours of all time. But first, let us go to the Zoom machine and say hello to our very first guest of the day. He is the aforementioned Jared Cannonier, the Killa Gorilla himself, who was victorious on Saturday night. Great fight against Kelvin Gastelum. He won via decision, went 5 rounds with big Kelvin Gastelum. He is kind enough to join us now via the magic of Zoom. There he is. Still, you know, look at that face. I mean, it's perfect. No marks on your face. 5 rounds with Kelvin. Oh, right there. Okay. I mean, 25 minutes with Kelvin Gastelum and you walk away with just that. That's a pretty good night.
Yes, it was. It was a hard fought night. You know, it was a lot of the game plan worked. As you guys can see, I'm not as beaten up as most of Kelvin's opponents are after their excursions with him. But you know, I came out with my wounds. You know, I got some lacerations inside of my mouth.
Ooh.
You know, that's annoying whenever I try to eat something. My shin, my right foot is kind of sore from kicking him in the elbows. But yeah, man, I got a good little scratch on here. I'm gonna have to start telling those guys to put a lot more grease on my face because they didn't put no grease right there on that part of my face.
What happened? Like long nails or what? What's going on? How did you get the scratch?
I don't know. I do remember catching a thumb. I think it was in the 4th or 5th round. I don't know if that scratched. I think one of the commentators mentioned I was cut before that. I don't know if that's the one they were speaking on, but you know, I did have some, you know, some damage occur throughout the fight, you know, towards the middle of the fight. So I didn't come out completely unscathed, but I did avoid like serious injury, so I don't have to sit on the sideline again. I'm done with that stuff, and I'm ready to get back to work.
A lot to talk to you about. By the way, you mentioned the cuts inside your mouth. Like, I know when I get like a little canker sore, you bite your lip. That bothers me for weeks. I mean, it's the most annoying thing when you eat. Does that happen a lot? Do you get a lot of cuts inside, like in your back lip there when you're fighting? Is that a common thing?
It only happens when sparring. You know, you get punched in the mouth and the guard doesn't really cushion the, you know, what's the word? Protect the lip.
Yeah.
From that stuff. You know, it's supposed to just protect that gum line so your teeth aren't just falling right out. You know, it happens. It's pretty common, and it's common when you train too. Even in jiu-jitsu or wrestling, you know, you may end up biting your lip or, you know, biting your tongue or biting your cheek. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do that, but you know, it happens.
It is the worst. What about going 5 rounds? I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you did go 5 full rounds back in, I think, 2014 when you were fighting in Alaska. But you weren't fighting at 185 back then. You were a bigger boy back then. What did it feel like in the UFC against a top-level guy like Kelvin going 25 minutes, especially considering the layoff? You hadn't fought for around 10 months.
Absolutely. Coming back from injury, I felt good. You know, I was in good shape. My cardio was always on point. I'm never going to go into a fight and get tired to the point where I can't fight back or defend myself. So, I felt good. I was able to keep up with Kelvin, you know what I'm saying, and bring the fight to him as he brought the fight to me. Of course, it's tiring, especially at that pace. But I wasn't exhausted. I felt good. I was ready to keep going, and I just felt good. It's good to be back. That's for damn sure.
Man, you hit him with some big shots. At any point, are you thinking, like, what do I have to do to actually put this guy away? I mean, he's got a big head. He's a strong guy. He's got a great chin. He's been there with some of the best. But you hit him with some big shots, Jared. Were you thinking that to yourself at any point?
No, I wasn't getting discouraged. I was just trying to fight the man, trying to find that right opening. Hindsight's always 20/20. As I go back and watch the fight, I see so many of those openings, and I'm like, how come I didn't? Why didn't I? So I guess it's part of the process of growth, if you will.
You said the game plan worked. What was the game plan?
To not stand in front of him and let him throw those big left hands or that big left leg that, we've seen him put people away with. Hit me a few times, but it wasn't a flawless victory, so, but, I got the win either way, so I'm happy with that.
You're happy with that. You should be happy with that. I was just being a nitpicker before, talking about the Apex. I'm tired of the Apex. I want the events to feel big again. I want the crowd. I want it to look like it's in a different location. What about you? What was it like being at the Apex?
Well, it being my first time at the Apex, I thought it was pretty nice. They had the warm-up area, had more mat space than that, like a room with just two mats glued together. It's a whole mat area. They had bags. They had a whole slew of workout equipment if I chose to work to get good warm up on. I did a nice brisk walk on that on the treadmill out there. Hit the bags a little bit. It's right there. You walk right out of the area. It's close. Everything is right there. Where you need it.
It's probably more convenient for you guys, right? Like the hotel's right there. There's no nonsense.
Yeah.
Like you got all that equipment. I would imagine, other than the fans and maybe the smaller cage, you'd probably prefer it, right? If you're fighting once, twice a year there.
I prefer convenience.
Yeah.
So once or twice a year, and then of course go somewhere else. I would like to fight in front of a big old crowd on the pay-per-view as well. So we'll see what happens in the future. I'm sure that's going to happen eventually, but yeah.
No one talks about the smaller cage anymore. Did you notice a difference? Because when you were in Abu Dhabi with Robert, it was the bigger cage, right?
Yeah. I did notice, with Kelvin, he pressures his fighters. So, of course, footwork was what's the word? It was, of course, my path to victory. I've always had good footwork. I've always implemented it when needed. And it was definitely needed more against an opponent like Kelvin because he comes forward, he moves in, gets close, and try to throw those big shots. So that was the game plan, implement more of my footwork. I think it played against my power, my sort of the image of me being a big power striker and stuff like that, because I was trying to move and stay in range to counterattack, but I guess it's something I have to work on, moving just out of the way, maybe a little bit more, a few more inches. It was a game of inches that night.
So let's take a step back here. Last time we saw you prior to Saturday, Robert Whittaker fight, Abu Dhabi, big time fight, potential #1 contender fight. You don't get the W. You also break your hand, correct?
Yeah, I broke the ulna in my left arm.
Oh damn, that's the scar?
Yeah, that's it.
Holy smokes, that's from like your wrist to almost your elbow there.
Yeah, right here. Yeah, dang. So the first one was smaller than that. The first one was a little bit smaller, like this, about this big.
Okay.
And the plate was small. And then it was declared a non-union. So that means the bone didn't heal back together. So they had to go back in, take all of it out. They did a swab and found that it had like staph in there.
Oh no.
Yeah. And they put in a bigger rod, did a bone graft from the bone that had grew in around and on the bone, because it was growing, but it just wasn't filling in. So they did a bone graft and gave me a bone stimulator, started all over back in February. Physical therapy was a lot easier the second time too, because of all the strength training and the rehabbing of the arm we had did prior. It, I guess, facilitated a more successful healing or recovery at this time.
First surgery was when, and when was second surgery?
The first surgery was the 30th of October.
Okay.
And the second one was the 20 something, the 24th, I believe, of February.
Oh, wow. So you're already almost like 4 months in. Was that, was that kind of a strain on your mind to have to go under the knife? You're thinking you're getting better, and now you got to start from scratch, essentially.
Yeah. When I was going on the knife, that was the time I was expecting to be back in the octagon,
Right.
Or at least in camp getting ready for a contender fight. But it didn't happen. Fate decided that, hey, man, we may need to put you on ice a little bit longer. But it's all good. I'm over that. I'm past that. The pec injury, this arm injury, that loss to Robert, I'm past that. I'm back in the win column. I'm back on the road to that title, and I'm injury free right now. So
good.
I'm trying to stay that way.
You went 25 minutes in the fight. Are you thinking please, are you thinking at all about the hand, about not re-injuring it? Was it on your mind at all?
No. Of course, that's what physical therapy. That's what the physical therapy is for. So when I come back to do my job, I'm not going to be thinking I can't do this, I can't do that with my hand. I can do anything with this hand. I can, punch. I can block. I can handstand on it and stuff like that. So I've been lifting weights with it. And it's only going to get stronger. So my arm is good to go.
After the fight, one of the first things that you said on the mic to Daniel Cormier, which obviously drew a lot of headlines, was you want to get back in there because, as you put it, you're broke. How dire is this situation?
I mean, it's not dire. It's just a natural occurrence, if you will. Of course, coming off of the injury, I'm not balling out of control or anything like that. And a lot of people don't understand that when we have these fights, that we owe people money after these fights. So after this win, 60% of my money is already gone, between the gym, between management, between taxes. On top of that, I got bills, credit cards. I got kids. I have a house up in Alaska. I got a house here. I got car payments. That money goes. Money don't last forever. And right now, fighting is our only revenue. I don't have sponsors or anything like that. I ain't got nobody. Fighting is my only focus. I'm not out here doing commercials or anything like that. Nobody's asking me to be in the next Marvel movie. So, and not being able to fight for the last 10 months, put a strain on our pockets. So I'm glad to have gotten back in there. I'm glad that I get 2 checks plus that main event bonus. And I'm glad I'm not injured so I can do it again. I don't need a super quick turnaround, but the division is moving on. We got big fights coming up this weekend, and and I'm ready to go. So, I'm not. Everybody's saying, the UFC needs to pay its fighters. In my situation, when I quit my job, I was able to get paid from the UFC to sustain myself. So I'm not here to say the UFC isn't paying me, because I'm getting paid pretty good from the UFC. It's just that money don't last forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here balling out of control. I'm not splurging or anything like that. I'm not stupid. I don't spend my money on dumb stuff, but it's just life, I guess. I would like to get paid. I am a high-level, elite-level athlete. I would like to get paid like elite-level athletes, like the ones in the NFL and the NBA, and the ones that playing baseball and soccer and doing all that stuff. They get sponsors, but they get, they don't need sponsors. All they need is that check from that 3-letter organization. So that's what we need here in the UFC. That's who we're all like, So yeah.
I want to preface my next question with this. There's a lot of sensitive people out there that be like, oh, here's Ariel stirring the pot. No, this is not me stirring the pot. This is me talking to a high-level, I think top 3 ranked middleweight in the world, in the #1 MMA organization, who just fought on ESPN in the main event and won that fight, who might be 1 win away from fighting for the belt. That's why people have big eyes when they hear something like this, because you said the word sustain. The point of all of this isn't to just get by and sustain. You're a professional athlete. The point of all of this is prize fighting. The point of all of this is to get money and to be set for life when you're done fighting, not to just skirt by so that you have to find another job when you retire. And so that's why I think you have a lot of people speaking on your behalf, a lot of fans saying, yo, this isn't right. And so I want to ask you about the sponsor thing as well. Why no sponsors? How no sponsors? I know you can't wear them in the cage, but like you got Instagram, you got, and I noticed you didn't use it a lot for this fight. You used it a lot for the last fight, but you could get paid off that too, right? No one knocking on your door.
No, man, nobody. I mean, I probably got people in my DMs, but nothing like, no big checks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't trying to collect, pennies from here, pennies from there, and I got to work for 10 different people just to get enough to pay my house bill for the month.
No,
I ain't trying. No, I'm not working for pennies. Like you said, I'm a high level athlete who just did all that stuff you just said. You know what I'm saying? I should have 6 figures in my account that I don't even need to touch. You're absolutely right about that. I shouldn't have to worry about, man, if I get injured or I can't fight anymore, what the hell am I gonna do? And unfortunately, that is a situation that a lot of us fighters are in, that I'm in myself. You know what I'm saying? My wife is getting ready to get up and go to work. You know what I'm saying? Which is against the structure that we have as a family. You know what I'm saying? She does so much here at the house, maintaining the home, taking care of the kids. You know what I'm saying? Making sure everything is where it needs to be, so I can go and do my thing and not have to worry about everything else that's going on. But
That's an invalid target.
I don't know. I'm not gonna say. Well, yeah, whatever, man. Like I said, it's a three-letter organization, the biggest one. It has to be well over 4 billion it sold 4 years ago. So we should be getting paid a little bit more. Yeah, absolutely.
Over the past 10 months, did you have to go get another job while you were on the sidelines?
I mean, my wife started training to start working.
Okay.
So she's doing the intern part right now. She's working without getting paid, but she's on a full-time schedule. So I'm having to, take the kids to school, bring the kids home, help with homework until she gets off, and hopefully I can go to train tonight and tomorrow, at night. But I can't go to pro practice because I pick my kids up at 3:15, and it's usually the lines wrong. It's a line at the schools and stuff to pick up the kids, so you don't get out of it. It's like 4. Practice starts at 3, ends at 4:30. So this shit, the lack of money is definitely cutting in on my training time. So that's what it was when I worked for the FAA. I had to go over there and work 10 hours, and it was cutting in on my training time. So not the same position, but I'm still, it's still a fight to get out of that. Financial liberty is what we all want. I don't want to be stuck in this.
You have business with me?
In this matrix, where we have to work for money. When my mom is 60, my mom is damn near 7 years old. She shouldn't be working, but she is. My mama needs to retire. So we got, I got little brothers and sisters at home. I got a house. I got a house for the kids. That are looking at me. Looking at the other men in my family. And not looking at me, but that are looking at my mama to take care of them. I got young kids in my mouth.
You have business with me?
Of course, I got young kids myself, and I want to look after my entire family. My mama needs to retire. So that was been one of my first things one of the first goals that I had when I got in the UFC was to make it so she can do that. So
Can always help.
yeah, I would I would like that to happen real soon.
6.5 years in the UFC. Does it bum you
have
out? Do you ever
business
have a
with
moment
me?
where you're like, I'm 6.5 years in. What happens when this is over and there's not a lot to show for it? Do you get worried about that?
No, I'm not concerned to myself with what hasn't happened, or you know what I'm saying. At heart, I'm a hustler. I can make stuff happen. I can go anywhere and do anything I want to and make money if I need it. I choose to do this because I enjoy it. I had a 6-figure job before I quit and came to UFC full time. So I'm capable of doing just about anything I want to. All I got to do is put my mind to it, put my hand to it, and make it happen. I'm also surrounded by people who can do that. My wife is that type of person. My family, we care, we look after each other, we take care of each other. So I'm not saying that I'm out on the limb or anything like that, because I got people who I can rely on, thankfully for that. But I want to make it on my own dime. You know what I'm saying? I should be able to do that, and which is what I'm doing in the UFC. So yeah, bigger fights should definitely mean bigger paychecks.
I have to say, and again, I know there are going to be people, because trust me, I've heard it all at this point. There's going to be people saying, that I'm just trying to stir the pot here. This bums me out. This depresses me to hear you talk like this, because you deserve, I mean, you go in there and you walk into a cage, with all due respect to some of the other athletes and what they do and the kind of risks that they have to take versus the kind of risks that you guys have to take, what you do for a living. It's just, when you see and hear how the sausage is made, it's a bummer. It's a bummer, because you deserve, at the very least, the show win model to me is so outdated and archaic. Like, you walk into a main event on ESPN for the UFC, you deserve guaranteed pay. Like, it's not like, oh, I hope you get a finish and you can, do something spectacular to get on SportsCenter and then we'll give you double your pay. No, you should get that double pay up front, if you ask me. But, I know I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, and I hope you know that not only from me, but from the fans as well, who've been speaking about this for the past 24 hours. Like, they want to see you guys get paid. They want you to be making millions of dollars. They want you to make what boxers are making, for the most part, who are main eventing shows on ESPN. And so I hope it changes. And maybe it changes with the next fight. You get a big fight against maybe a Darren Till or a Derek Brunson, and then the next one, I would imagine, is a title fight, right? Like, in my mind, given the fact that Izzy and Robert aren't fighting for the rest of the year, you're probably one fight away from fighting for the belt. Do you view it the same way?
I do. I absolutely do. And like I said in the Octagon, I'm not trying to wait until after them to see if I can step right in line. So we'll see what happens next week with Till and Brunson. I hear rumors that Costa and Vittori are going to be thrown down.
Yes.
So those are a few names that, we can line up to give me my contenders fight and give me another check. And again, I'm not complaining. It's the UFC pay structure. We signed our contracts.
Sure.
But yes, I do want a bigger check, but I don't want to be like these guys you see in the NFL with, I'm not one of those guys that be going out stunting on people and flossing and splurging like that, There's bigger and better things I can be doing with my money, what I'm saying? There's land that needs to be bought, because there's other people buying up all the land and they don't care about us. So there's land that needs to be bought. There are specific businesses that need to be open, holistic businesses that need to be catered to, if you will. And I want to open up a gym my damn self, you know what I'm saying? I want to open up a gym in Dallas, actually, because I didn't have that opportunity growing up as a child, and I don't see any martial arts being given to the people in the area where I grew up. So I want to bring martial arts to Oak Cliff, Texas, right there, Polk Street, Camp Wisdom, Wheatland, you know what I'm saying? I want to bring high-level mixed martial arts there, and because there's a lot of potential, there's a lot of people, young people in there. It's a lot of potential for greatness out of that city, man. So right now, the city only caters to the main three ball game sports: baseball, football, and basketball. And we need to bring martial arts. I think martial arts brings a different element of what's the word, of athletics to the world, if you will.
37, Jared. How many more years you want to do this for?
As long as I can go, man. I love what I'm doing. I'm having fun doing it. I'm capable. I'm able. You know what I'm saying? My body is able to do it at a high level. So I want to do it as long as I can. I want to be 40, 50 years old even, holding that belt.
Huh.
However long it takes me to get 16 of those red diamonds on that belt.
That's right. And I want to say something, if I can, if you don't mind, to the MMA media, because I know that people will write about this, and you have to listen to what Jared just said there. I'm happy. I want to keep going. So I respect you tremendously for speaking up and for saying, I want more, I think I deserve more. But you're not coming across, at least to me, as someone who is ungrateful or disgruntled. You're just telling it like it is. And so I don't want you to get in trouble. I know the way the game is played. You get in trouble, this and that. I have a lot of respect for you for telling it like it is, for just telling the truth, for not sugarcoating, but also at the same time saying, I'm happy and I want to keep going and I have great dreams and aspirations in this sport. So I think it's important when people write about this and what you're saying, because not everyone has the courage that you do to say, and it's crazy to even attach the word courage to it, but let's be honest, that's the landscape. It's important to add that you are also still happy and grateful for the situation that you are in. I hope I'm not putting words in your mouth there, but that's my read on the situation.
No, you're absolutely right. I've never been happier. This is the best job I've ever had in my life. I think the UFC takes very good care of its athletes. They make sure we have everything we need, especially during fight week. You know, who else, you know, who doesn't want to fight? And like you said, it's the premier organization for mixed martial arts in the world. I'm part of history in that regard. And again, I'm grateful and I'm blessed to be a part of this organization. Yes, I do want more money, you know. I would like one fight to be able to hold me up for at least 2 years, not one. You know, and then off of that, you know, and then we build off of that, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I'm not one to, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you, Jared. Well, it's very clear that you are a top contender in the UFC. Izzy himself has talked about wanting to fight you and also wanting to test himself against you, feeling like you are a rightful contender. You're back. Big win over a guy that took him to very deep waters. Wasn't the same kind of fight. I know styles make fights, but I think you maybe get the winner of Brunson versus Till, and then we take it from there and see where you go, and probably get the winner of the Whitaker-Israel Adesanya fight. Congratulations. Welcome back. Great performance. Thank you for speaking the truth. Thank you for being honest, and thank you as always for coming on, Jared. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm always ever honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to hide my truth for anybody. Even if they think it's wrong or right or whatever. It's my truth, so that's what it is. All I can do is try to present it to the world, if I want to, as best and as articulate as I can. You know what I'm saying? I'm just transmitting energy. You know, this is just how I feel about the situation. I do want more money, but I'm happy. I'm happy with the check I got yesterday, or was it Saturday night?
Yeah.
You know, I'm content with it. You know, it's enough to get me and my family by. And on to the next one.
Amen. Talk to you soon, Jared. Congrats.
Thank you, Eric.
All right, there he is, the killer gorilla himself, Jared Cannonier. Speaking facts, F-A-X or T-S, as the kids say, more the former than the latter. I feel like these days I have to preface that we saw it with Misha Tate a few days ago as well, where people are talking about it. Saw it with Cyril Gane. And look, I mean, they don't have to speak like this. It's a privilege to get them to speak like this and to be honest and open with us like this. But we also, as media, don't want them to not speak like this. So, you know, it's important to tell the whole story. This, to me, is disappointing. It's upsetting. Am I blind to it? No. Am I surprised by it? No. I feel like it's becoming a trend. We need to get to a point where main eventers on ESPN or Showtime or any other network, we need to get to the point where they are making big-time dollars. Jared Cannonier, top 3, should be making big-time dollars. At this point, 6.5 years in the game. Should be making guaranteed money. I tell you someone who's about to make big-time dollars. I tell you someone who is playing this game like a violin. I mean, it has been a while since we've seen someone play the field quite like this, and I'm enjoying it. Every single picture, every single tweet, every single Instagram post brings a bigger smile to my face than the previous one. This man needs to get paid. This man is on the verge of getting paid. This man has had a tremendous summer. I have dubbed it the Summer of Gable, because he won Olympic gold in Tokyo just a few weeks ago. He's a national champion from the University of Minnesota. He's an All-American, multiple-time All-American as well. He is one of the bright young stars, not only in the world of wrestling, but about to become a bright young star in the world of combat sports. Where is he off to? We'll ask him some of that and a whole lot more right now. It is an honor to have the hottest free agent in combat sports join us right now via the magic of Zoom. The one and only Gable Dan Steveson joins us right now. How are you, my friend? Good to have you on.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me on. I'm doing fantastic. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I see that smile. You are doing such a great job, Gable. Golly. Is this all you? Is someone helping you behind the scenes here? Because what you are doing, every moment I see, you're at Bellator. Yeah, and I'm going to talk about every single stop. But this is fantastic stuff. Who's guiding you throughout this process, Gable?
I'm guiding myself. I decided to take it in my own hands to go out there and meet these people myself. And like you said, it puts a smile on my face and it puts a smile on your face, and that's good. And I'm glad you're paying attention.
Oh, I am paying attention. I love it. I love you playing them all like a fiddle. It's great. Let me ask you this. Can you go on this tour? Because people were talking about you before. I mean, national champion, you were worthy of all the praise. But does this tour happen the way in which it is happening with the kind of buzz that you are generating if you don't win gold? If you get silver in Tokyo, can you still do this in your opinion, or did you need the gold to do all of this?
I feel like in my own minds, I needed that gold medal. That gold medal opened the world to me. It opened the world for me to see, and I feel like a silver medal is still a great accomplishment, but people respect that gold medal. Guys still talk about Kurt Angle winning a gold medal with a broken neck, and so that moment of me in that 13 seconds from silver to gold was game changing for me.
Leading into the Olympics, you have guys like DC, Daniel Cormier, and Chael Sonnen. They're all talking you up. They're all huge wrestling guys, but they're all saying this is the next big thing, not only in pro wrestling, but in fighting, etc. There's pressure going into the Olympics. If you're Joe Schmo from Kazakhstan, let alone you and everyone talking about you, did you feel an immense amount of pressure in Tokyo because of all the hype surrounding you and because of what people were saying could come next if you do win gold?
Yeah, a lot of pressure came about with that. Like you mentioned, there's guys like DC, Jones, and so many other people reaching out and posting tweets that Gable's gonna tech fall his way through the Olympic Games, and the pressure was there. Am I used to it? Yes. Have I been in spots like that before? Of course. And so being able to take their words and make them a reality, and me winning that gold medal, it skyrocketed through. But the pressure was there. But pressure makes diamonds, and so that's how I think of it.
Do you have any recollection? I'm sure you've been asked this before, but I'm dying to know. You mentioned those 13 seconds. It looked insurmountable. I mean, what were you down? 5 points at that point, right?
I was on 3.
3 points. Okay. Insurmountable stuff. What are you thinking in that moment? Like, did you think, obviously you didn't think it was over because you pulled it off. Are you like, what is it? Do you have any recollection what is going on in your head? I mean, this is one of the all-time great finishes. And I'll be honest, I'm no wrestling historian. I haven't followed it as much as I do MMA, of course. But that was special, and I saw people who I respect very much tell me, I mean, DC's calling me like a kid in a candy store. Like, did you see what he just did? It's freaking 7 a.m. over here in the States. He's freaking out. What is going on in your mind? Do you have any recollection?
Going on through that match was just like emotional roller coaster. I was winning 4-0, then all of a sudden I'm losing 8-5 with 13 seconds left. And so that last 13 seconds was probably just straight heart. It was do or die. 3 weeks in Tokyo, I can't leave with a second place. I need to leave with a gold medal. It was just straight pure heart, and me realizing that he was hurting at the end of the match too. And so, every time we talk about smelling blood in the middle of a fire middle of a match, and that means like if a shark smells blood, that means someone's near and he's at his breaking point. And I smelled the blood right there, and I knew that at that point, just don't give up and secure these last 2 takedowns, because the first one he gave up really easy, and I sensed it and I smelled the blood, and right after that, I went straight for the last one, and 0.2 seconds left, scored a gold medal.
Perhaps you didn't want to script it this way, but this only just adds to the buzz, right? It adds to the great story of Gable Steveson. Like it just was so perfect. If someone was scripting this, say a pro wrestling company, they couldn't have scripted it any better. Maybe you're doing it with a broken neck, but no one wants you to have a broken neck, so this was just perfect for you. And so I'm wondering, you mentioned those 3 weeks in Tokyo. Mentally, how straining was it? Because I know they had you guys under pretty strict rules. How difficult was it to not really get to experience the Olympics because of COVID?
Very difficult. We got to a place called Nakatsugawa. The people there treat us phenomenally, like really, really good. And so we only had a 1 hour of outside time a day, and that was from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m.
Wow.
After that, we went to practice. We ate lunch and all that. Went to practice again, probably at 3, and then went back to our rooms, turned on movies and stuff, and repeated that for about 2 weeks. And when we got to Tokyo, we weren't allowed to stay in the village because the COVID and USA Wrestling wanted us to exclude from that spot. So being over there, it was mentally, I would say it was mentally draining at some points, because, days get long when you're repeating the same process every day.
Sure.
And I don't have my normal routine at home. I don't have my Xbox and stuff that I can like sit down. I don't have my regular weight room. So I was just going off what I had, and it was exhausting, but at the end of the day, I came back with what I needed, and that's how I came there for.
Is there a part of you that is sort of feeling like you were robbed of the great Olympic experience, or do you not care?
I don't really care. I feel like my great experience was winning the gold medal coming back. That's what I went there for, and that's all I needed.
At what point, how old are you, Gable, when you are starting to think of these plans? Like, oh, I'm going to go to college, D1, I'm going to win a national championship, I'm going to get an Olympic gold, I'm going to go. Like, when did you start putting together this blueprint?
I started putting that blueprint together probably going into college. You know, I won 4 state titles in high school, but when you get to college, that all changed because you're wrestling grown men. At the heavyweight stage, guys are really old. They're matured quicker. So when I got to college, I made like the goals of winning 4 national titles, and obviously I only have 1 at this point because COVID, and I lost my freshman year. So being able to readjust after losing and having that learning experience, and then coming to 2020, COVID canceled our year. In 2021, I was really focused on national title, Hodge Trophy, and gold medal. That's all I wanted, and I dedicated everything I did. Like every day, I woke up and I was locked in. I need a gold medal. I need a national title, and it was just built in me that I had to do it. And I knew when I did it, my life would change forever. And now we're here, and I'm on your show, and my life has now changed forever.
Do you think you win the gold medal if the games are in 2020?
No,
you don't.
That year really blessed me and a lot because I was able to grow as a person. I was able to grow maturely and being able to sit out a whole year because COVID, and just going in the weight room and just relocking in because we had nothing else to do. That's all I did every day, every morning, wrestled. That's all I did. And so I reconstructed myself to mentally lock myself in to have that phenomenal run that I had this year. And it played out really well.
Wow. I appreciate that honesty. I don't think a lot of people would say that. And so when you're a kid, are you growing up, like, did you watch MMA? Did you watch pro wrestling? Did you watch boxing? Were you a combat sports fan, or were you maybe just a wrestling fan?
Oh, everything. I watched everything. Got to.
Well, I don't know. I mean, some people are just locked in. Like, which is your favorite? Outside of amateur, collegiate wrestling, all that, Olympic wrestling, which of the combat sports was your favorite growing up?
Growing up, it was most definitely fighting. Just NWA too. I mean, I would say they're both equal. I don't want to put one of them apart, but fighting, growing up, we had like guys, Anderson Silva and GSP and Lesnar and Couture would fight, and you got Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell fighting each other. So it was crazy that growing up watching them, and I'm at that point now where I am like pretty close to being one of those guys, and younger kids are looking up to me and watching me maybe fight or go on the WWE ring and be that person. So it's kind of a whirlwind of events because I was young watching those guys, and now I meet those guys and I'm in the same shoes they were. And I just hope that my main goal was to inspire them right now, inspire the young kids that were just like me, walking up to famous people, ask for autographs and doing all that. So for me to be an inspiration to them young kids right now is most definitely number one on my list, just because I was that young kid and now I'm 21 years old and I'm seeing the world and I'm meeting all these people like Vince and Dana White's texting, and it's very cool.
And we shall get to those people in a second, but you did mention Brock Lesnar. You have often been compared to Brock Lesnar, of course, because of the University of Minnesota background. How old were you when you met Brock for the first time?
I was 18 when I met Brock for the first time.
Damn.
I was a little kid. I mean, it was about 3 years ago, but
with the big hair, right?
Yeah, the big poofy hair. Yeah. I mean, funny story. No one knows the story. I'm gonna tell it now since I'm here. I mean, just people I'm close with. Brock came in one day and we were practicing. And the first video you probably saw on Twitter of me and him wrestling, he was real tired and all that. And he came in and he was like, "You gotta cut that shit off your head."
Really?
And I was like, my hair? I was like, what do you mean I like it? And he was like, no, you gotta look like a professional. And so I thought about it for like a few months, and mid-match, I'd get my hair pulled and because, headgear and stuff.
Yeah.
I would, a few months later, I went to the barber, and it's a barber I really don't go to. I really rock with him like that. He cut me up and I was like, just take the top down a little bit. He messed up my haircut. And but my fade was good, but he cut it off the wrong way.
Oh no.
And so I was like, maybe this is a sign like that it's time for me to cut it all down. And so my mom cuts hair too, and she took the rest of the top off, and I had shorter hair. And then a few weeks later, I was like, you know what? I'm going down to the short, and I'm gonna grow a beard out. So that's how I am now. It's
a good look. Well, what did he say when he saw you the next time with the short hair?
He liked it, Yeah. But it's crazy. It's crazy events. Like I go through like whirlwind of events, like 360s, because I was on the phone with him before I went to the Tokyo. He was pumping me up and telling me the ins and outs of what to do and how to be a pro. And he comes out yesterday or Saturday at SummerSlam. He got this ugly hair and the beard and all that. And back in the day, I was telling him, I was like, yo, you remember you told me to cut my hair? And I told him, you got to cut yours off now. It's not looking good.
Oh man, Gable.
I go through like weird 360 events, and it's like crazy. I'm going through them right now because Brock, you got to cut it off.
Okay, so here's the thing, Gable. Brock Lesnar, you know, I've had the privilege of talking to a lot of big dudes, scary dudes, fighters. Without a doubt, the most intimidating man that I've ever stood next to while doing an interview. I can't say that. I'm thinking it, no lie. It's not a great look. It's a horrible haircut. You could say it like that? Holy crap. And you're not afraid that he's going to come and bury you in the sand?
Nah, he knows what it is. I mean, we've had the matches in the wrestling room that no one sees. So.
Oh, snap. What have you done? What have you done to Brock? Tell me.
You know, I take care of my business. That's all I gotta say.
So when you're an 18-year-old, you're not intimidated by him? Like, did you have a moment there where this is Big Brad Brock Lesnar?
Bro, I was scared as hell of him.
Okay.
Dude came up and I'm like 6'1", he's about like 6'3", 6'4". He put together and he was absolutely ripped. And I was like, he's bigger than I thought. This is the first time I ever seen him in person. And it was like, but honestly, it's cool to have like that mentor, that role model in my life, and have him do everything that I want to do in such a dominating fashion is cool, because he can tell me how he did it and things I can do better. But when I first saw him, I was like, come on now, you gonna have me wrestle you right now? But as the time went on and we got closer and got cooler, it was not like, it was just an easier factor now.
Okay, so now let's get down to brass tacks. We've done the little, preamble of brass tacks. This is big. You're not going back to Minnesota, right? I mean, what do you need to go back there? You've done it all. Like you've got a lot of money waiting for you. We're not going back, right? Can you announce it right here and now?
I mean, I don't know what I'm doing yet. I think there's so many options. WWE, football, UFC. I can go back to school for 1 more year.
That's what you've been telling to everyone, like that jabroni Patrick McAfee. Let's get down to brass tacks. There is no chance you're going back to Minnesota. Why in the world would you go back? You got your national championship. You got your gold. What do you have to prove there?
I have nothing to prove. The only thing I got to prove is I can win the national tournament again and prove that I'm the baddest NCAA heavyweight that's ever walked through.
Okay, fair enough. That is a good thing to prove. Okay, name and likeness changes things, right? NIL, you signed with Dave Martin. Now you can get paid, right? So probably 5 years ago, it's less of an option. Now a little more of an option because you can get paid to a degree, correct?
Most definitely. It's a great thing that bill and NCAA passed it. And Dave is a great guy. He's turning up. He's doing his thing for me. So I appreciate his efforts, and he's amazing. And he came to Vegas and WWE, and we hit it off. And so he's a great dude. I'm happy he's in my corner. Okay, so now let's talk about WWE. You're there at SummerSlam. Actually, first, you're at Bellator on Friday. I mean, you're making the rounds. You're showing up. It's great. I love everything about this. Then you're at SummerSlam in Vegas on Saturday, and then you're in the locker room with the big bad man himself, Vinnie Mac. There's the picture of the face. I think we have the picture, your smile. Look at that picture. I mean, look at that. Thumbs up, Vinnie Mac. What was that? Was that your first time meeting Vince McMahon? First time ever. What was it like? Tell us. What was it like? It was simple. We just sat down and had an easygoing conversation. You know how it goes. Just said hey and got in and out. That's all. Did you talk business? What did you guys talk about? Like I said, you know how it goes. That's how I'm saying. Okay, I feel. You know how it goes. And I see you with all the guys backstage and everything. I mean, did they give you the red carpet treatment? Did they welcome you with open arms? Well, most definitely. They always welcome me with open arms. Triple H, he welcomes me very well. To me, Vince, that was a warm welcome. So the WWE community and the organization welcomes me with always open arms, with red carpet treatment, which is how it should be. Yeah, absolutely, man. You're gold medalist, national champ. Now, what about UFC? Because Dana White said he was going to meet with you in Vegas. Did that meeting happen? Meeting did not happen. I got to Vegas and I was on go the whole day, so I had no time to reach out or nothing. You stood up Dana White? You're a bigger badass than I thought. Man, I don't know. It's just. Tell me. He's got my number. He can reach out. He's got my number. He can reach out. You felt like he wasn't coming at you aggressive enough. He didn't want you enough. He's not coming at me like that. So like I said, I wait my turn. Dana, you have my phone number. You have my Instagram. I don't run. I don't run to people. I do my job. I wrestle. I win championships. I put on for the university. I put on for USA. No need for me to run anywhere. Now, what about Bellator? Did you meet with Scott Coker on Friday? Was he there? He wasn't there? I don't really know what he looks like. I just saw him from the Twitter video, so I'm not sure what he looks like. Come on, Coker dropped the ball there. If he wasn't planning on being there, I'd get on the first plane, jet, private, whatever, and I would go there just to meet with you and shake your hand and take that photo off. Okay, now let me ask you this, Gable, as I'm peppering you with these questions. If we go down the pro wrestling lane, is it
WWE or bust, or there's another company called AEW that's doing some big things. Have you talked to them as well?
No, I've never been approached by AEW. I've never wanted to reach out to AEW. My goal is to get to the WWE and be a big superstar. My goal is to get to UFC and be a big superstar. There's two ways I can go to UFC and try to be the baddest man on the planet, and go to the WWE and be the baddest man over there. So I want the biggest organizations that are gonna put forth my name in a respectful way. And I know AEW can do its job, but I've never been approached, and so we'll see if they approach. But if not, then I just move on and go to my next day.
Okay, can I tell you? You didn't ask my opinion, but can I give you my opinion on what you should do?
Yes.
Okay, you have the blueprint right in front of you. You got the Brock Lesnar blueprint. I would go to pro wrestling first. They build you into a monster. You get the rub. You become a huge star for that audience. You do your thing there, maybe 3-4 years. You're still so young. What are you, 21 years old, right? I mean, you're so young. During that time, you're doing your training, you're testing out, the different gyms, coaches, you're finding your footing in the world of mixed martial arts. 3-4 years, you jump over, like Brock Lesnar did, you get right in there with big fights against big names, and then you win that championship, and now you're a national champion, you're a WWE champion, you're a UFC champion, like your predecessor, Brock Lesnar. What do you think of that? So you go down WWE first, and then you make a hard right to UFC.
I think that could be a good idea. That could be a pathway I could take. The Brock Lesnar blueprint and pathway has worked out for him very well, I think. And who knows? Like I said, the decision may come here soon, or I may make y'all wait a little longer. I don't know yet.
I've heard. I actually was talking to Bobby Lashley, the WWE champion, about you on Friday. He said if he were you, hitch your wagon to Paul Heyman, let him build you up, do that sort of thing. I know you don't want to be completely in Brock's shadow and do the exact same thing all over again, but Heyman has success in doing that. Do you have a relationship with Heyman? Because I've seen him tweet about you and promote you as well. What's your relationship like with Mr. Heyman?
I've been knowing Paul since I was probably junior in high school. That's when we first messaged and stuff like that. So I've known him for some years now. And I'm not worried about being in Brock's shadow. I'm not worried about no shadow. At the end of the day, we're all doing our thing. We're all doing our job. There's no shadow. There's no nothing. And there is not one person that's going to be more bigger than the other. And if it's that way, then it's that way. But being in the shadow of someone has never been crossed my mind, because it's a job, it's a business. We're all going to make our own ends at the end of the day.
Do you feel like this was almost pre-written for you, Gable? Your name is Gable Dan. You are named after the legendary Dan Gable. It actually reminds me a little bit like Tyson Fury, the heavyweight boxer, who, I don't know if you know this, was named after Mike Tyson. His father gave him that name, Mike. So it's very similar. Do you I know your brothers were into wrestling as well, but for your family to give you that name, it almost feels like this was your destiny. Do you believe that?
Just a little bit. I feel like just when the name Gable came along, and I started off young wrestling, and I've been in that spot wrestling for so long, and I met Gable for the first time when I was about 8-9 years old, and after that he always reaches out and everything. So it feels like I said, I kind of live in a whirlwind with the haircut with Brock Lesnar, and talking to people, things happening. So that was it's like a whirlwind of 360s. Things just flip sides, and I do them somehow after someone else does them years before.
We have one problem with WWE, if you ask me, and I love the way they have you at NXT in the front row, and they're putting you over, and they bring you out in front of the crowd. It was great. But we got a problem. There's a young man there who was a part of the American Olympic team back in the day named Chad Gable. Now we can't have two Gables on the roster. He's got to drop that name, right? Right?
Yeah, he's got to cut the name. He's got to go to wherever.
Not even his real name.
No. My real name is Gable. It's 100% there. Chad Gable. You got to cut the name, my guy. I agree.
Just go by Chad. Now I have to tell you another thing, Mr. Gable. I don't know if you know this, but I'm a hardcore Buffalo Bills fan right here. Look at that. I got the football right here. Are you talking to the Bills? What's going on? Can you come to my Bills as well? What's happening?
I actually do want to go out there and play football just one time. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. I just go back to my regular profession. But I went to a Gopher football practice. I showed up randomly. Coach Fleck gave me the warm welcome and stuff. And a Bills recruiting coordinator was just there watching the practice, and he was came up to me, "Hey, how you doing?" Took my phone number down, and probably a week later, all of a sudden articles were coming out saying Gable has talked to the Bills. Which it happened, and I told him I knew the coach and I knew how he liked wrestling, and he told me too, and that's how it started.
Wow. Okay. Have you ever played football before, like in high school or anything?
Never. I've never played it down in my life.
And so this is something that truly interests you.
Yes, it does.
Can you give us the pecking order? Like, what's the number one thing? That is it pro wrestling, then MMA, then football? Would that be the pecking order?
The pecking order would probably be try something new first, and then choose the next path after that. So the new thing first probably be play football.
Oh.
Like I said, if I don't make it, then I don't make it. But all options are open. Who may get me first? Not sure.
Okay, so now I'm reading the situation completely differently. Now I'm thinking you might go to the University of Minnesota for one more year to try to go back to back, like Drake once said, and then also try to walk onto the football team and try to do that thing as well. And now you are even making more buzz for yourself as you win the national championship for the second straight time, and then you leave school. Is that what we're leaning towards?
No, you just made up a whole different story.
All right. I'm just trying to crack you, my man. I'm trying to crack
You
you.
made a whole different story. You know, I can play for the Gopher football program. I mean, they welcome me with open arms, but I can try out for the Bills or another team or beforehand, and who knows. So you're trying to make up a story on me.
No, I'm not trying to make. I'm trying to crack you because you're so damn good. Can I ask, when do you expect to make this announcement?
I expect to make this announcement. I want to do it fairly soon, but if it doesn't work like that, then I won't make it soon. I'll just weigh it out. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna make a good decision and do what's best for me. And if it takes another month, then it takes another month. But I'm hoping before October.
Okay. Regarding school, I apologize for not knowing this. Do you have to tell them by a certain point?
No.
Okay.
I can attend school and not tell them that I'm going to wrestle or anything. So who knows?
Gotcha. And in your mind, I know you're not going to tell us, but in your mind right now, do you have the answer?
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
Oh, I know.
It's done.
No, it's not 100% done. I'll say it's about 60% done. Like I said, I'm weighing all options in.
But in your mind, you have a path. Like if someone came to you privately, your mom is like, "What's up, Gabe? What are we doing?" You know what you want. You know where you're going. It just has to all come to fruition. You've already made that decision, sort of.
Most definitely.
Man, Gable, you're so good at this. I don't know. This is just amazing. You're playing us all.
I can't. I'm trying to tell you, but I can't.
Are you trying to tell me? Did I miss a couple clues?
Might have.
What did you say?
Rewind this and play it again after.
I think WWE. I mean, that smile. Vinnie Mac doesn't smile with people like that. He doesn't smile with
Yeah, we
people.
look good in that picture.
You did look great.
Picture did a lot of publicity on Instagram and Twitter.
It did, and you held the belt as well.
Shugos can always
Well,
help.
definitely. You know, the belt's heavy.
Did they give you that? Did they give it to you like as a gift, or was it just for a photo op?
It was just for photo op.
Okay. And by the way, what was it like when you walked out? 50,000 people. What was that like?
Oh, it was loud. It was crazy. It felt like I should be there. I felt like it was my calling, but I could walk out from that 50,000 at the UFC rank next week. You never know.
That's right. That's right. And did you know Brock was coming back? He told you, right?
Nope.
He didn't tell you. Really? You were shocked.
I was up in the suite like it was crazy. Like I was up in the suite like baffled to the fullest. And like I normally don't get baffled, and like when he came out, I was like, there is no way.
This is amazing. Well, I would love the storyline of the young Gable going up against Big Bad Brock, shaving his head off, telling him he looks like, a crazy man with that hair. You're doing such great work. I will leave you alone, Gable. Congratulations on all your success. Congratulations on what you're doing, how you're playing this. It actually reminds me a little bit of Kurt Angle back in the day. I think you were too young to remember that, but he did a similar thing where he was kind of playing the field, and he showed up in ECW and WWF at the time. I just love it, and I hope you get paid, my man. I hope you get paid and then some, whether it's NIL stuff with Minnesota, whether it's WWE, UFC. I just hope you get the world and then some. So again, congrats. Thank you for the time, and I can't wait to see what you do. And if you want, hey, by the way, if you want to come on the show and make the announcement here with the hats or something like that, the floor is yours, my friend. Anytime, mi casa, su casa.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me all those.
All right. There he is, Gable Steveson. Good luck to him. One of the hottest names. If you're not following what this man is doing on social media, if you are not following how he is just pretty much playing everyone, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, this man has the world in the palm of his hands. He's got the biggest promoters in the game, all essentially fun. Although I gotta say, I mean, you're in Las Vegas, you don't take the time to meet with Gable Steveson. I mean, that's a dropping of the ball if you ask me.
I'm glad you're here.
Buffalo Bills. I feel like we're going to. I feel like we are going to see him in WWE. That's what I feel. It just seems like they really like him. Oh, that was fun. DC talking to me about Gable for quite some time. And by the way, so great to see DC on Friday. First time I see him in 17 months. We had a big reunion. He didn't let me hug him or kiss him, but we went out to eat. It was great to touch base, if you will, to reminisce. It was great to talk to him, not via the magic of Zoom, but via the magic of actual in-person interactions. It was a great thing. And so that was probably the highlight of the weekend for me, if I'm being honest. Like, the WWE stuff was great. They were very kind. It was nice to actually be, treated nice by PR people for once. But if I'm being honest, the actual highlight of the weekend was seeing my good friend Daniel Cormier. All love between us. We were reminiscing, we were talking, we were hugging. Bought my kids $300 worth of merchandise. I actually didn't go to SummerSlam, unfortunately. I was supposed to be there. And there's not a lot of incentive at this juncture for media to stick around post-event because there's no press conference stuff. I think it could actually be pretty cool. AEW does a good job with this with the scrums. I think it would be a cool wrinkle. You bring a couple guys out to talk. Imagine they brought Brock Lesnar out. I doubt that would happen, but that would be a cool way to incentivize media to go to the events. And so there was this hurricane coming to the Northeast, so I actually tapped and left before the event. I was in the air and landed at around 9:30 on Saturday, so I actually didn't get to go to Allegiant Stadium. But I suspect the UFC will be holding events there in the next couple of years. It appears to be a fantastic arena / stadium / facility. I mean, their football team is not going to win anything. They're going to be pretty much a non-factor in the AFC, but nevertheless, a very cool venue, if you ask me. All right, so in a matter of seconds,
Shugos can always help.
we are going to be joined by our next guest, one of the all-time greats in the history of combat sports. Of course, former Strikeforce champion, former Dream champion, former UFC contender, former K1 champion, and a longtime friend of this here program. He's been on this show. I mean, when we were doing the little rollout for the show and talking to people about, great moments and posting stuff, courtesy of Robert Pearson, by the way, who's doing a great job. So happy to have him in the mix. You see the drawings. This man was featured as one of the first. He's my friend and yours. He's the Demolition Man. He is the one and only Alistair Overeem, who's kind enough to join us. My man, Alistair. How are you? The legend. Welcome back.
Yeah.
The old show,
Thank you,
Alistair. The old show's back. We had so many great memories
The old
here.
show.
The Dougie, Birthday King. Remember? Great memories.
I remember, of course. How can I forget?
I mean,
You still got my iPad.
yeah, I don't know about that, Alistair.
Oh, what?
I feel like there's a statute of limitations there. By the way, some might say that without this show, you're not the legend that you became. Like, this show made you famous. That's what people are saying, not me.
It's all because of you, Ariel. It's all because of you.
Oh, Alistair. Well, it's great to see
You want some money? You want a couple bucks?
No, I want nothing, Alistair. I just like having
okay.
you on the show. It's great to have you on. It's great to see that big smile. And Alistair, let's not waste any time. You have a big announcement to make, Alistair. I want you to make this announcement. You, my friend, are the A-side here as far as my show is concerned. What's the announcement? Let the world know.
You want me just to spit it out?
I want you to spit it out, and then I want to ask you a million questions about it.
All right. So next fight is announced. Next fight is booked. Next fight is final. We will be challenging for the Glory Heavyweight Kickboxing title. October 23 in the Netherlands, in my backyard. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be versus Rico. And I'm very excited.
Okay, Alistair, let me just fill in a couple of the holes here. October 23rd, Glory Collision 3. You, the legend, the former K1 champion, returning to his roots, not only in kickboxing, but also returning to the Netherlands, your home country, to face fellow Dutchman, current reigning, defending glory heavyweight kickboxing champion, the one and only Rico Verhoeven, in a clash of all clashes, a dream match, if you will, as far as kickboxing is concerned. October 23rd in the Netherlands. 23,000 fans. They are expecting this arena over there, Alistair. You see how
more than that.
More than 23,000 fans. How many are we expecting?
I think it's going to be like 35,000.
Oh my dear.
It's going to be the Netherlands' biggest.
Yes,
event.
in Arnhem, Netherlands, at the Dome. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Gelredome is called.
Okay, I can't get that correct.
So that's soccer stadium, and yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Oh my gosh, is this an outdoor stadium?
No, it's indoors.
Indoors. Okay.
Yeah.
But you see how I built that up, Alistair? You see how I could promote? I could promote better than any promoter in the sport. You know that, right?
You sure?
Yeah. Well, anyways, this is very exciting. This is a dream fight. This is a dream fight, right?
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be big. It's going to be circle will be complete, right? It's in the Netherlands. Started kickboxing back in 1997, and then we went in MMA afterwards, and then we went back into kickboxing. We won the K1 2010 Grand Prix title, and now we're again coming into kickboxing. Oh, one second. Let me just. Yeah, my battery went. Yeah, we're there.
You're back.
So now we're coming back once again into kickboxing.
Now, I spoke to you, Alistair, right when you signed with Glory, when the news came out, and you told me there were basically two things that really interested you. Either another fight against Badr Hari or Rico Verhoeven. You went with Rico. You went for the title. Why?
Well, Badr's locked up, right? Badr's got a fight next week.
Yeah.
So he's just booked up, and then... you know, to be honest, me and Badr fought twice. He doesn't hold the title. You know, of course, it's a prestige fight. It's a big fight, but he doesn't hold the title. So, of course, you're going to go high as possible. That's Rico at this point.
For those that don't know, Alistair, what is your relationship like with Rico?
Well, it's actually all right. He was in my camp 2012. We hung out a little bit here and there. Social guy. Can't say anything bad about him. I think he's done great in his career. He's winning his fights. I think he's a good role model for sport. It was not only him, but it was also the Badr fight which really put him on the map. But he won that fight twice, not once but twice. And it appears he's doing everything right.
Who's the bigger star in the Netherlands right now, Alistair Overeem or Rico Verhoeven?
I think maybe Rico's bigger. Yeah.
Come on, really?
Yeah, because he's doing more. He's doing more media. Like I'm not doing any media in the Netherlands, and he is doing all the media he can do. I'm a little bit a different character. Also, I don't really enjoy doing media, especially in the Netherlands. I do not enjoy it.
Why? Tell us why. Why don't you like it in the Netherlands?
Because so I'll tell you.
Please.
In the Netherlands, criminality is linked to fight sport.
Oh.
So always when I have to give interviews, I have to explain what a good boy I am and how I'm not doing any criminal activities, and I'm just very dedicated. And then they're always like, huh? Oh, you're actually okay. And you know, I don't care for approval from people that, I don't know. I just didn't. And then Rico, on the other hand, when you look at Rico, you just know he's not a criminal. He's just like a good, clean guy. And like I said, a good role model for the sport. And he never really had to endure any of that. And then when he fought Badr's kind of like a little bit more old school. Badr is seen as the criminal, and he was kind of seen as a clean-cut guy. And then, he kind of came out of that again as the clean-cut guy. So, and for me, I just always felt I had to defend myself and defend the martial arts. And even though, in the US, the sport is totally accepted. It's a real sport. It's huge. In Japan, before that, it's totally accepted, clean sport. And then I always thought I had to defend that position. And I was like, I'm not really in the mood for that. I just focus on me, focus on positivity. And,
Does it kind of annoy you, blow your mind, Alistair? You're one of the greatest combat sportsmen in the history of MMA and kickboxing, given what you've accomplished there, even though you haven't been there for so long. You're wearing the shirt right over there, K1 World Grand Prix. You're from the Netherlands, right? I mean, the fact that you are almost respected more and treated better by the media in the States as opposed to your home country, after all these years, you're in your 40s now, that seems like a shame. No, that seems unfortunate.
No, listen. I never fought for approval of me or of anybody. I just do my own thing, right? Yeah, it's not a shame. It's just different markets, right? Every country is different. In the one country, you're gonna get more appreciation than the other. I'm not blaming anyone, and it's a little bit the total picture of the sport, right? Because in the Netherlands, there has been some criminal activities done by kickboxing guys or fighters. Let me put it that way. Yeah, so it is what it is.
Well, that bums me out. I feel like at this point you have done enough to prove yourself to where they should.
No, listen, people that know my career will give homage, and it's all fine. It's but it was not always the case. That's what I'm saying. Back in the days, I'm talking 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I had to really defend the sport of kickboxing, and I was just not really in the mood for that. I just got other things on my mind.
Where are you now? Are you in the States now, or are you in the Netherlands?
Yeah, I'm in Dallas at my friend James McSweeney. So we're training at James McSweeney MMA.
Wow! So
great gym, great energy.
Yeah.
But I'm bouncing around a little bit. So I'll be going to Netherlands this week, and I train in Cor Hemmers, Nick Hemmers. So I'm bouncing around a little bit.
So for this camp, because it's not MMA, are you not going to Colorado again?
Oh, I will.
You will go there as well.
Absolutely, I will. Listen, like I said, I'm bouncing around a little bit.
Will you have the elevation guys in your corner? Because again, it's not MMA. You are.
And an elevation guy is going to be in my corner.
Wow, this is fun, Alistair. This is fun. Now,
It's like a puzzle, right? We just figure it out as we go along.
Yes, of course. Now, could I ask, as far as your relationship towards the sport of MMA, since, I know you weren't very happy to leave the UFC when you did. Have you been watching? Do you need a break from it? Did you stop? Like mentally, you're like, I'm just going to take a break. I'm not going to watch this as much. How do you feel?
No. Still a huge fan. Still a lot of appreciation for Dana. And the guys at the UFC, they're doing a great job. I mean, the show is awesome, right? The fights are awesome that they're putting on. Still love the sport, still enjoy the sport. And I better, right? Because I'm coming to the end of my career. And then I'm going to become a coach. So, I still love everybody. Still a lot of positive vibes. And we just keep marching on.
So is that your plan post-fighting? You have decided you want to be a coach?
Yeah. And I've kind of always teached. Besides training myself, and it started out as fun and just a group, and then later one-on-one, and then later I did the seminars, or kind of worldwide seminars, meet and greets, and then I just really like it. I just really like to give, pass on the knowledge, the experiences. So that is going to be my next thing.
Interesting. And would it be in the Netherlands?
I have not decided yet, but it will also be the Netherlands. But I'm thinking kind of 50-50. I'm not going to be in one spot. I kind of like the traveling around. So I'm thinking Netherlands and another spot. And I've not decided the other spot. I was really thinking about Thailand.
I was just going to say
Big fan of Thailand. We know that, right?
Yeah,
Been there since 2002. But Thailand is not good at the moment, COVID. So you have to kind of take that into consideration. Maybe it'll be US somewhere. Maybe it'll be Dubai. I don't know yet. We're looking at options. I still have some time, right? Still, what is it?
For sure.
Almost done with fighting, but we still have, a year, maybe a year and a half.
And would this be sort of like the Alistair Overeem fight team? Like your own thing? You're not going to go link up with someone. It's going to be your own team.
Well, I kind of really love the Team Elevation guys. So we'll have some talks with them. But obviously, if I'm going to start another gym, it'll be something of my own also.
Okay. And go ahead. Sorry.
No, that wasn't.
Oh, okay. You had mentioned, starting to think about the end and all that. And I know I asked you this the last time, but now that you've had a few more months to think about it, how many fights are we going to do for Glory before, maybe transitioning to that coaching career you just spoke?
I am thinking 3 fights.
3.
Yeah, 3 fights. Maybe 4, but 3, maybe 2.
Oh.
2, 3, 4, something like this.
Okay, this is I'm gonna lay it out. We're gonna have the big fight October 23rd in let me get it again, Arnhem, Netherlands. Arnhem. Yeah.
I love Arnhem. You know your history.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I'm reading it. So you're gonna have that fight. You're gonna win the belt. Then they're gonna do an immediate rematch. So that's the second fight. And then maybe you end it with the trilogy fight against Badr Hari. That's the third fight.
Could be, yeah. Well,
And
nice.
and it sounds to me like if that's the plan, your days of fighting in MMA are over.
Never say never, but could be.
Does it feel that way to you?
It could be. I'm not. Yeah, I know you're trying to pin me down.
No, I'm not trying
That's
to
a
pin.
little bit what you do.
I mean, look.
Yes, you do.
Remember one time I went to Jackson's? You tried to pin me down. I showed impeccable takedown.
I was very
defense.
successful in pinning you down.
Oh,
and
my
it almost
God.
resulted in a lawsuit.
No way. What are you trying to say? My hips in that maneuver. I mean, you were shocked at my sprawl, were you not?
Listen, you have never fought in your life.
Yeah, well, that's what you know.
You have
That's what
never
you
punched
think.
another man in your life, have you?
I don't like to talk about
Have
that.
you been punched in your life? I don't even think you ever got punched.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Listen, you believe what you want to
No,
believe,
but
Alistair.
have you ever punched somebody, and have you ever been punched
But where?
in your face?
Oh, okay. I
Maybe-
mean, look, you could punch someone in the arm, in the stomach.
No. Have you ever been punched for real, and have you ever punched somebody else for real?
Okay, a lot of people don't know this, Alistair, but before I got into MMA, I had a budding amateur career. I went 15-3 on the amateur circuit. Unfortunately, things didn't work out. A couple
In what?
in mixed martial arts. No,
Making it up as you guys along.
but listen, in all honesty, I did do boxing training for the last year and a half pre-COVID, and so I was starting to do, the hands were flying, Alistair. I don't know if you know about my double jab. People were starting to compare it to the great Floyd Mayweather. Unfortunately, COVID hit, and I haven't been back. So they were starting to
I
say,
compared it to Ronda Rousey.
"Oh, Alistair." Hey, they once said Ronda Rousey was the next Mike Tyson. So, I don't know if you heard that, but a lot of people were saying that. Oh my gosh, Alistair. I don't even know how we got on that. How about the pinning down? Your MMA fighting career is over, yes?
Nah,
Why are you hesitant?
I don't
Why
like
are you hesitant to say it?
Because I have not retired from MMA, and I know you're trying to kind of. That would be your follow-up question. Okay, hereby you're not. No, I am not retired from MMA. I'm not retired from fight sport.
I never said fight sport.
We tried to make we tried to make a little bit that fatal fight, and that was kind of like radio silence on that end. Yeah, but that would be something I was interested in. But that was like.
That surprises me that they weren't interested in that one. That's the one in October, but it wouldn't have worked with this because your fight is
listen.
Yeah. Okay.
We tried to make that fight 2010 when he fought Verdum and I fought Brett Rogers. Declined. After he lost to Verdum, we tried to make that fight. He declined.
Huh.
And now he has declined. So that's 3 declines. So I think, with all due respect, but there is no interest from that side to fight me.
Interesting.
And I cannot blame Fedor because, listen, I'm getting a little bit older myself. A little bit, not too much, a little bit.
Yeah.
He's a little bit older than me. I think he's 45 or 46. So I understand that. But I have done everything I can do to make that fight happen.
Man.
10 years ago, but also now.
10 years ago would have been gigantic. Now it would have been a lot of fun, especially in Russia. But I don't know if the timing would work out because it's around the same time as this fight with Rico.
Listen, we've been talking for months. What are you talking about?
All right.
You're thinking this is all like last week? This is all going in the background for months. And then if there's like no response, yeah, of course, I'm not going to be sitting around waiting till the sun comes up. You're going to move on, right?
Yeah. We
had zero response. But listen, doesn't matter. I still have a lot of respect for Fedor. I think he has an amazing career. Love the Russian fans. And he's going to do his thing. I'm going to do my thing. And that's the end of that.
This deal that you have with Glory, they allow you to do MMA as well at the same time? That's a good deal, Alistair. Who put that together?
Want to do your first fight?
Me.
Or what was it? Your 16th fight? Because you were 15-0, right?
15-3.
When did you
15-3.
16 fight?
I'm not a
with me?
liar, Alistair. I'm 15-3, okay? I had a couple of stumbles along the way. You versus me, Alistair, would outdraw you versus Rico. It would be one of the biggest fights in
Open
the
weight
history
class.
of combat sports. Don't you think? Me versus you? Winner gets an iPad. That's it.
You and Rico versus me is a little bit more honest, I think.
Oh, my gosh. I'll be in the corner hyping him up. Now, Alistair, let me ask you. As far as Bellator is concerned, did you even have any talks with them? Not about Fedor, but just in general?
Fine day.
Once you became a free agent?
Yeah, there were some talks. And listen, Scott Coke is great.
Yeah.
Get along with him. Former boss at Strikeforce. So he was my boss for a couple of years. Good relationship with him and all fine. But at the moment, we're not talking.
Have you started the training for this this bout? October 23rd, Glory Collision 3. Have you started it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
What was it like now transitioning?
And the way I see it is, I just take it serious. So I've been in camp. What is it for? Months now. Putting in the work. Body is there, mind is there, everything is there.
As far as just transitioning to strict kickboxing training, what has that been like for you? You don't have to worry about anything now. Like I would imagine maybe refreshing, right? You don't have to do wrestling, anything. Muay Thai. I mean, maybe Muay Thai a little bit.
It's a little switch, right? It's a little switch. Well, for me, it's kind of a little switch, but for most people, it will be like a little bit a bigger switch. I think it's a massive switch from kickboxing to MMA, and actually not done. From MMA to kickboxing is a smaller switch, but it still is a switch nonetheless. Your body needs to harden up a little bit different. Conditioning is a little bit different. It's shorter rounds, but of high intensity. You're gonna get hit more, right? Your defense needs to be there. So it's different. It's slightly different. No wrestling, no submissions, no submission defense, all that stuff. So it's a little bit less complex, less complicated, but still you're fighting at the top of the line, the top of the world. So you still need to have everything on point.
By the way, did you see your old friend Brock Lesnar return to wrestling this past weekend? Did you see the photos of him?
So the thing is with that whole wrestling thing, I watched it when I was 8, 9, 10 years old. Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, huge fan of those guys. Honky Tonk Man, great, funny, unrated giant.
Yes.
I stopped watching after that. So I'm not watching since 92, 93, 94. And just recently I started looking again on YouTube and oh my God, this stuff is lame.
Come on.
It's just lame what all these guys are doing. It's fake, it's lame, it's stupid, it's gay, it doesn't make any sense.
Uh-oh. Don't say that, Alistair.
Why?
I mean,
because I'm speaking the truth?
No, I mean, well, just the you said it was, listen, it's for kids, right? Kids like it. My kids like it.
No, that's not true. It's full of audience there.
Well, I know that.
Full of
but it's for all ages.
Grown adults.
What's the difference between that and Game of Thrones? What's the difference?
Really?
It's theater. What's the difference?
You're asking me that?
Yeah. What's the difference? It's theater. It's athleticism. You don't think they're athletes? They're athletes. They're incredible athletes. You can spin around like that and do flips and all that and get landed on your head and all that. You have to respect the craft, correct?
It's lame.
All right, fair enough. Listen, it's not everyone's cup of tea.
It's lame.
Did you see his hair?
And it's not even a sport. It's just lame.
Sports entertainment.
It's bad acting. It's just lame.
All right, fair enough.
Sorry for being honest. Listen, sorry for all the fans of WWE, but I'm just being honest. I'm just giving my opinion.
Yeah.
Free country, right?
Of course.
I think it's lame, and I just because I hadn't seen it for 20 years. I knew it was there.
Sure.
I never watched Brock fight. I never watched the CM Punk fight. I never watched that stuff. It's from WWE. And then why did nobody warn CM Punk what he was getting into? Of course he can't fight in the UFC. Of course he cannot do that. You should have been more honest. You should have warned that guy for what he was getting himself into.
No, I mean, I think a lot of people...
No?
Wait a second. What? Honest about what? No one thought he was going to become like a UFC champion.
That man got mentally destroyed in the octagon.
Yeah.
And if you look at his
but
WWE stuff...
Who says otherwise? No one says otherwise.
If you look at his WWE stuff, like I never watched his WWE stuff.
Okay.
But if you look at it, then you can you can already predict it beforehand.
I see what you're saying.
This man is gonna have a bad experience in the UFC. It's not just not gonna be anything because he's gonna win. He's gonna get somebody tougher. Right. Or he's gonna lose, and then he's not gonna lose once. It's gonna always be 2 times or 3 times. And he could get hurt. That's the even worse thing. He could have gotten really hurt.
What about Brock?
Training,
Brock went from pro wrestling to UFC and did well.
A fine day.
Are you really gonna stick up for that guy?
No, I'm not sticking up, but them's the facts. Are they not?
Are you? Aaron, we're having a little disconnect up here.
No.
We're having a little bit of disconnect up here.
No, I'm just here. What's the problem? Did he not have success in the world of UFC before he got sick?
Pre-USADA.
Ah, okay. All right.
Right?
All right. Interesting. So you're saying he
Oh
got...
yeah, you're pretending like huh? What? Huh? Oh, come on, Harry. Yeah, listen, you used to be the honest guy.
Okay.
The honest guy on the
Well,
block.
Alistair, if we're gonna then say, like, people have said the same about you, have they not?
Well, I've been fighting 10 years in UFC. It's been, what is it, 9 years?
Right.
9 years
Right.
after my thing. So I guess that clears me of that, right?
No, I know, but I mean, people
And
have
6
tried
years,
to
6
discredit.
years post USADA, so longer post USADA than pre USADA.
Yeah, but he did have the USADA thing with Mark Hunt, so he eventually did get caught.
Oh, okay. What happened there?
He got caught.
Finish your sentence.
What do you mean? He tested positive. He got caught. I think he tested positive twice, if memory serves me correct. It was 5 years ago. Listen, I don't know how we got down this path, Alistair. You know I love you, but I mean, golly, you came out with some fire today here, Alistair. This is something.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I got you.
And I don't know. I look at it and you know, because I'm looking at it on YouTube, you know, you click on one thing and then five more clips come up, and then you're kind of, oh, what's happening with this guy? I'm looking up. A lot of these guys have passed away, right?
Yeah.
That's the other sad thing about the wrestling.
Very sad.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just amazed at that. And what I hear is that that I have financial difficulty, WWE.
The company or the wrestlers?
Well, not the wrestlers, but the company.
No, they're actually doing.
Themselves.
No, they're doing well at this point. The issue is the fighters, or the wrestlers, I should say, much like the UFC fighters, they don't have a lot of rights. They don't have revenue sharing. They don't have a seat at the table. They don't get sponsors. All this stuff. So they're kind of in the same boat in that regard. Independent contractors, but you can't go out and do whatever you want. That sort of thing. I want to see everyone get paid more. I hope you're getting paid a lot by Glory. Are you? Okay. How big is this fight going to be?
No, I let me put it this way.
Okay.
Getting paid is one thing. Not spending your money is a second.
That's true.
Saving. I've been saving all my life. Right. So you need to. That whole financial thing is a game plan in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody got to figure it out, right? Everybody got to be a little bit clever in that regard. Separate. Yeah.
Are you getting paid more in Glory than you were in the UFC?
Well, listen, you always ask me all these questions. I'm not asking you. Yeah, geez.
You can ask me whatever you want. Ask me whatever you want. Ask me whatever you want. Ask me whatever.
But listen, we're not. Have you not noticed I never discuss finances?
I know. Well, you kind of opened the door for me there. You know, I'm just saying.
Because I think it is a little bit disrespectful towards towards the company, but also towards other athletes. I never talk money. I don't flash around with money. I think that's inappropriate.
Okay.
So that's a little bit where I'm at on that.
Alistair, coming up next, surprise guest is going to be Rico Verhoeven, the Glory heavyweight champion of the world. I believe he's listening to us right now. Is there anything you want to say to Rico?
Well, nothing in particular. Maybe, hoe gaat het ermee?
Oh.
Je bent ergens in de achtergrond misschien.
What does that mean?
I'm saying how you're doing, and you're somewhere in the background.
Oh, wait. What do you mean he's in the background? What does that mean?
Well, he's listening in, right?
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like you're the man, he's in the back seat. It's now your time.
always trying to throw some gas in the fire, right?
I mean, come on. No one wants to hear. No one wants to hear how you doing before a big fight, October 23rd for the Glory Heavyweight Championship, Alistair. They want to hear some heat. They want to hear some fire.
Yeah, they're gonna see all that, and they're gonna see more.
All right.
But for now, it's all friendly and it's nice. And listen, there's a lot of respect. He's doing a great job. I'm doing a great job. We're gonna collide. We're gonna clash, and yeah, fireworks coming up.
Okay, we'll see if he has
What is
the same
that?
to
8
say.
weeks, 9 weeks?
Yeah, I'm going to find out right now if he has the same to say about you. Something tells me no. Something tells me he's going to disparage you from here up until October 23rd, but we'll find out. Alistair?
Listen, Rico is a good guy. He's Dutch. Dutch people don't really do that.
Very
what
respectful.
You're saying.
Very respectful.
And not only that, he has a good man image. So I don't expect him to, he's going to be confident, but he's not going to be nuts.
Okay. We'll find out. Alistair, if you were here, I would give you a big old hug. It's good to see you, Alistair. Even though we weren't on the same wavelength, as you like to say. I know you love me, and I love you too. And I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Boom.
All right, there he is.
Ariel, always good to see you.
Thank you, my friend. It is a pleasure, and good luck to
Rico,
you.
success. Good luck.
October 23rd, Alistair Overeem going up against Rico Verhoeven for the Glory Heavyweight Championship. Now, a little more information about this. October 23rd, yes, the name, I'm going to screw it up. I don't want to screw it up. Arnhem, Netherlands, Glory Collision 3. It says here over 27,000 fans they are expected, and they are expecting, and the tickets will go on sale September 14th. By the way, those who purchase tickets to Glory 78, which is taking place on September 4th, at the Rotterdam Ahoy, will be given early access to buy tickets to Glory Collision 3, which pits Alistair Overeem against our next guest. Here he is, special guest, surprise. We got Rico Verhoeven joining us now via the magic of Skype. Rico, my friend, how are you?
Yes, what's up, Ariel? It's been a while.
It has been a while. Well, congratulations on this fight. This is a big-time fight, Rico. You know this, right? You versus Alistair, the two worlds colliding, the two most famous, dare I say, most famous Dutch kickboxers of all time coming together. I mean, I know there have been a ton of others, but this is a really big deal. You guys colliding October 23rd. What are your feelings, emotions about this fight getting done?
100%. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Of course, I want to congratulate Alistair on getting the fight, because this is the fight that actually everybody wants. So and not everybody gets. So I think it's a huge deal for him. Yeah, for me, it's just another day at the office, so it's going to be fun.
I like this, Rico. You're congratulating Alistair on getting the lottery ticket that is Rico Verhoeven. They had to ask you, like, did you feel, hey, you know what, Alistair? You haven't fought in kickboxing in, 11 years? Maybe you should go fight someone first and then fight for the belt. How did this whole, the whole process, how did it all play out?
No, like, I'm not really, like, able to say or do anything about it. Just Glory just suggests or tells me, like, hey, we're trying to get Alistair to fight you. So yeah, just so you know. And all I say is, let's go. I'm here anyway. So
is this a dream fight for you?
Is this a dream fight? Yeah, it is a name that I like to have on the list.
Okay. I mean, this is
to add.
Right. I would imagine
so many guys in Glory, and I think he's a very good add-on to the Glory roster.
Do you feel like it's a little ambitious on his part, that he's maybe biting off a little more than he could chew? He hasn't competed in about 11 years in kickboxing, and now he is coming to fight you, arguably the greatest Glory heavyweight champion of all time, the king right now. I mean, that's a big jump, no?
Yeah, you're definitely right. But yeah, I think that's the fighter mentality and the fighter heart that he has, and he's been fighting for so long. So from my part, I think he knows what he's getting into.
Okay, what did you make of his last few fights in the UFC prior to coming over to Glory?
I think they weren't the best, but yeah, it could be so many things. Maybe just done with MMA, or couldn't get motivated anymore, or I don't know. But I wasn't really impressed with his performances in the UFC. But of course, he had some ups and downs. So he definitely had some good ups, and the last few were some downs. But yeah, it happens.
What is your relationship like with Alistair?
Yeah, we're okay. We're not like hostile or something. It's like yeah, we say hi, we say how are you, whatever. But we're just we're not best friends, but just respect him. Definitely respect him as an athlete.
You trained together in the past a little bit, no?
Yeah, he asked me to help him in his camp versus Bigfoot, back in the day.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Yeah, it was good. It was fun. But I came from I think that was my first year trying to become Glory World Champion, and I lost with my only loss in Glory versus Sammy Shield. So I was, and it was I think 3 weeks later or something, Alistair flew me in to help him out. So I wasn't 100%, but that was fun. So we get used to each other, spar a little bit, hang around, and yeah, that was good.
So you did actually spar him?
Yeah.
And you know, obviously, no one talks about what happened there, but it's interesting that you you know, that you actually went toe to toe with him. When this fight was presented to you, of all the options, I would imagine this was probably the most interesting one, right? I mean, you had the Badr Hari fight. I mean, like there's not a ton of big names like Alistair available, and especially one that could sell this many tickets. This would seem like a no-brainer, correct?
Yeah, 100%. So for me, actually, Ariel, I gotta be honest. To whatever Glory throws at me, I always say yes. I never decline. I never decline the fight.
Really?
Only thing, no, really. Only thing I tell him, like, a fight has to make sense.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense, like a nobody or a no name or whatever. That doesn't make any sense, because the people here, they want to see me fight, and they want to see me fight names they know, and the people they know. So then there's like a hype we can build up, and I think that's what it's all about. Because next to us fighting, we got to keep in mind that we're entertainers. People want to be entertained.
Do you feel like right now this could, like, how big of a deal do you think this is going to be? Because I was asking Alistair, who's the bigger name in the Netherlands right now, you or him? He said you. He said you do a lot of great media, you know, you're a good-looking guy, you present yourself very well, and that, you know, this could be billed as, you know, legend against the current champ. Like, I feel like they're going to sell these tickets very easily. Do you feel like this is going to be a big, big deal over in the Netherlands?
Yeah, 100%. Because, you know, Alistair left his mark on combat sports in his total, and his so he did kickboxing and strike force. He did it all. He was everywhere. So people know him. So especially with that, you know, in the back of our minds, is that it's a perfect match.
Do you feel like the history now with Badr Hari, do you feel like it helped elevate you? Did you get what you wanted out of fighting him? Do you feel like you're now a bigger star because of the history with him now? That was a fight that, you know, people were talking about you versus Badr Hari for forever.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there was a fight like people were talking about, because I think Alistair already put on the tip a little bit, like it was like a bit of good guy versus the bad guy.
Right.
Well, like for me, I don't really see Badr as a bad guy, but just like that's what the public opinion became, and that's like they just put him in those shoes. So yeah, that make like the total hype. It's like a movie script, good versus bad, and then bam, it just explodes. So that was, yeah, of course, that was perfect. That was perfect. And yeah, we did what we had to do. So yeah, on to the next.
You mentioned at the beginning of the interview, you know, we hadn't talked in a while. I think the last time we spoke, maybe I'm wrong, but I think the last time we spoke was when you were transitioning to MMA. You were trying out MMA. But that didn't last very long. Why didn't you continue with MMA?
Because I got an amazing offer from Glory.